Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dr. Inia Desnia show. I'm very excited to be here. Again, very excited. Of course, this is a platform where I provide resources for SMEs. And those that don't know what SMEs is, small and medium-sized enterprise. My goal is to make SMEs thrive, do well, right? So the platform is actually informative and educative. Is for informative and educative purposes only. I provide resources. I also bring others to speak. Um, just providing great resources for SMEs. And also, people have questions. Sometimes people appear, sometimes people send their questions. So I'm very excited to be here. And just wanted to let everybody know this is my last episode for 2023. I am very excited that, that is is moving forward and just very happy. So I'm ending the year strong. And I'm just going to go through some things that I believe that it could help other people and just, go through what happened, what have we been able to achieve, or what I have been able to achieve with on this platform, even personally as a business owner, because, I'm also an SME. I'm also a small and medium-sized enterprise owner. All right. So I believe we've been I mean, I think 1 year or so, I believe so, but I'm going to celebrate with everybody very soon. But just wanted to show gratitude for all those I've supported. All right. Now, today I'm just going to just speak generally today. Again, this is my last program for 2022. I know all of us are in the holiday Christmas mood, and I'm just preparing to have a very wonderful end of year celebration. And me too. So I know that the next few Tuesdays definitely will not be available, right? Preparing for the celebration. But let's just go through a couple of things which will hopefully encourage people. And also, I want to actually share my experience throughout the year. What have I done? What didn't I do right? When I say right, I say what could I have done better. So I'm not saying right, could I have done better. And then also what plans are out there for 2024, and just a word of advice here and there for all those that are SME owners, right? Small and medium-sized enterprises, business owners. All right. So, what was the big thing in 2023? What did I really believe that I did very well? I mean, the very first thing I would say that I really believe that this was a year of focus for me. I really sat back to see what are those items that are important in my business. I know I've talked about this even in the course of talking to small business owners. Being focused, knowing that okay, this is the way I want to go. And so for me, that was a kudos for myself. I believe that I didn't just I just focused. I just and again, it's not only telling you people watching, but I mean, because I advise people when I'm talking on this platform, very important to be focused. So I believe that I give myself a check mark that I really sat back and I was focused on a couple of things this year, and I'm very happy at the level of achievement on that. So when I talk about focus, the next thing I would say that I gave myself a check mark was cut out distractions, right? Cut out distraction. For me, and then, when I say focus and cut out distraction, even in my personal life, when it comes to, being focused, I know one of the goals I've set, is like setting goals to, lose weight. I mean, it's still a goal. So I would say that. But on the business arena, I had some things to achieve in 2023, and I'm very happy that I really set out to achieve those, focus and cut out distractions. When I say cut out distractions, I mean that, for example, I think I was listening to either was it a podcast or somebody mentioned this, and I ran with it, and I would like to also mention it here. I know I am someone that I can work on the focus part of it, but sometimes I ask myself, do I have to stay up and watch that program, that TV program? Sometimes I do. But let's say I want to achieve something tomorrow, then it just reflects and said, okay, when I say I want to achieve, I want to wake up early, right? People are people are night people. I'm a morning person, so I sleep a little bit earlier so that I can wake up a little bit earlier than most people. Okay, some people, I don't know, I won't say most. Because I know people that just like sleeping late and they wake up late. So for me, I sleep early so I can wake up early. So sometimes I want to say that I'm about to I have to get up early to do maybe exercise so that I can focus on my work. So sometimes I just cut up any kind of distraction. I know sometimes that people can get on the phone and speak forever. I'm not saying that I don't do that here and there, but I must have time to do that. So I must have time to do that. So what I do, I mean, just my own part, what I do is that I actually would say, okay, I'm done with this. So I have time to mingle, I have time to talk to people on the phone. I get so strict on myself, when I have deadlines, when I have to focus. All right. So that's one of the things. Focus actually, I mean, I had to focus, I had to cut out distractions, right? So I think I give myself a kudos for that. Another achievement here in this year, I would say that I surrounded myself with those that have similar goals, right? Um, I mean, of course, I have friends, different friends, but when it comes to business, right, I have surrounded myself with people that will inspire me, right? Will inspire me, that will work. Okay, what did they do to achieve what they have, achieved? So in the business, let's say I look for someone in my field and say, okay, what are some things I can tweak? I mean, even in the last quarter of this year, I actually made a major change in some of my processes, business processes, which I saw immediately when I made some of those improvements and changes. I saw immediate results. I saw immediate results. So I know some people might get, oh, this is December. No, 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 no. Last Q3 and Q4, I made some changes, right, in my business process, and it actually worked out well. So I give myself or my practice a kudos for that. So I did that, which I believe was very great. Another thing I did was goal check. You know, a lot of us in the beginning of the year, which is very good. We have so many things to write down, and we have personal plans, we have business goals. So what I did, and I believe I mentioned this in several of my discussions with you on this platform. What I did was I checked the goals to see if I have actually achieved them. And where I hadn't achieved them, I realign them to make sure they're achievable. I'm not saying that, okay, when I say I want to make sure that everybody understands what I'm talking about. When I say I realign a goal, I'm not saying that I make it to fit maybe a procrastination character. No. When I say maybe my projection was that, okay, for example, for the purpose of this discussion, I might say, okay, I want to reach, let's say 200 clients or something like that in a week. I realize that that's not feasible. Maybe, for example, if somebody has that kind of goal, maybe because I'm not just sending a email blast, but just trying to communicate with people one-on-one, right? So I might say, okay, instead of saying 200, I might say 80, 50, 100, depending on how I analyze issues, right? So I would say that the goal checking, right, is something that I did this year, which I would say that is a very great thing, because when you continue checking your goals, what happens? You can make it better. You can realign it. So how do I check? Did I check my, did I achieve what I set to achieve? Right. And it's not like, sometimes people say, oh, but I feel that, oh, I didn't do well. But no, if you're looking at walking a mile, even a step is an achievement, right? Even a step towards the direction of walking a mile is an achievement. That's how I see it. I don't tell myself, oh, I didn't achieve that. So no, I don't do that. I just say, okay, this is where I am. Okay. What can I do to make sure that I'm moving forward. Now, for another thing I look at when I look at the goal check, I would say, okay, I still have a couple of weeks to go. I still have a couple of months to go. What am I doing to achieve that? So even in looking at the goal, I also look at correcting factors on my own end, right? On my end to make sure that I align myself with the goals. All right. So goal checking, refining as necessary. All right. So that's what I did. And I think, of course, I mean, I'm not saying I achieved 100% pass mark in that, but I believe I did well. I did well. All right. Then another thing I used this year was milestones. Milestones. I know I've actually discussed on this before, but when we look at milestones, what does that mean? It means that at every point in time, right? Let's say goal setting. Remember, goal setting. The first, what I talked about just a few maybe seconds ago is just checking the goal, but this one is milestones. Now, I would say by the end of this week, I want to achieve this. So milestones is that setting a target, timeline, right? And I did that severally, and I really am happy with that because that actually guided me, right? On a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis. Okay, this is where I am. This is where I'm going to achieve. This is where, this is the milestone based on by this week, by that, right? So it's not really, this is differently from goal checking. Goal checking is different, but milestone is that creating a plan so that you would know, or I knew, this is what I meant to achieve at this point in time. So I would say that I give myself kudos for that, right? Now, this is what I'm just talking about the year, and I'm looking at what I've done in my business, and and I advise you to do that for your business too, right? Another thing I did was which I mean this is part of my life, but I strive to show appreciation. I strive, to staff. I strive to my customers, strive, right? I mean, even in my emails, right? I strive to continuously show appreciation, continuously making sure that every customer, every client feels appreciated, right? Sometimes things are, oh my goodness, there's a lot of things going on. And sometimes I understand the client might be in a position that they might not be happy with something in their lives, but I strive to appreciate them for being my client, my customer. I appreciate them, right? I always try my best to speak to them in a tone that is just joyful and happy, right? And I have a very good relationship with my clients. So I strive to do that, and I believe I mean when you appreciate when you show show, for me, that's what I've seen. When you show an attitude of appreciation, it actually, means a lot to the person. I mean, I've seen their reaction. And I think for me, I appreciate that. So I appreciate, yeah, coming from, that side or the opposite side, the person that is receiving that appreciation. So I would say, generally, those are the things that I could say, you know what, a pat on the back, a pat on, because sometimes people don't say they've done well. So I would say that for that, yes, I mean, I might not have said, okay, well, maybe that I might not have received 100%, right? A plus plus. But generally, I think I did better compared to, of course, you want to improve every year. So I would say that in these areas, there was for me, a tremendous, well, I mean, of I would say it tremendously improved, right? Now, when I talk about tremendously improved, right? There are some of these traits I already had them, but I just feel that I did better this year, right? Because as someone that wants to have a successful business, or someone that as a successful business owner that all of us are trying to be, there's some traits that we must have, all right? Character traits, right? And again, as I said, I'm not in 100% mark, but of course, there's room for improvement, right? So for me, that's what I would say that a couple of things I was able to achieve. So what about those that I did not do so much, or so great, right? Right? What about some areas that I said, okay, you know what? I could do better, right? I could do better. Okay. One of the things I would say would be the me time. Okay. Me time. I know one of the topics that I spoke on this platform, I mentioned how SMEs get burnt out, right? That they small SME owners, business owners get burnt out because they try to do so much. I realize that I can be a perfectionist. I can be a perfectionist, right? So especially when it comes to figures, and I know I do that, and I've learned to, sometimes you have to step back and delegate. You have to, yes, even though I have people working with me, for me, but sometimes I know that I try to get so much done. And for me, from one thing I do with my clients is that I work with them so that I really I mean sometimes I feel that yes, it's their business, but I really want them to do well. So sometimes I think yes, going above and beyond is not bad. But sometimes I really do go above and beyond a lot. So, but which is not bad, I know, but I just feel that I have to have my me time, and I think it's so important for all of us as business owners to see what is it that we can do to really take care of ourselves, right? We have to relax. I mean, I relax here and there, but I think I should do more, and I'm hoping to do more of that. So, of course, as I know what it means to grow a practice, grow a business, there's nothing wrong with that, but you should have me time. It's very important to you to have me time. So I hope that that's an area I could do better. So I hope that also is something that resonates with other people. Another form, another way, another thing, another area I could do better on is or in is you know I I I I I do a lot of research, right? But I think I can do more, do better. I do a lot of research I mean, I do that already, but I want to increase my, broaden my knowledge on that platform. So, and also I'm happy with the people I'm surrounding myself with professionally, but I feel that I can do better. I can do more. And one of the things that I'm planning to do better is make sure I'm network properly, networking, making sure that I'm go out to I mean I do speaking engagement, but I think maybe something I might want to really get out there more, right? So I meet people, and it's been very good, but I believe that I could do better, get more those engagements to make sure that, and then also again, a lot of research mixing with people that, when it comes to our businesses, right? Of course, because how do you know what happens in your industry if you don't have someone that, people that you mix with. Like, for example, I know that even beyond specific industries, for example, if you're talking about advertising, right, you want to get out there. There are so many adverts platforms there. There are social media platforms, and there are new ones coming up every day. How do you know that? You don't always have to hire someone that is an external staff when you have somebody there on your staff, on your payroll that can actually do that. But the person can't do that if the person doesn't know much about it. So one of the things that I will do, I'm moving forward this year, is getting my team to really look into the, more, research on platforms that could actually aid my practice to even go further, right? So just to do more on that knowledge research to see where we can do better. Then, of course, I said me time, travel, and good, so all those good stuff. So those are the things that I believe. Of course, this list is not exhaustive. I'm sure I could think of so many, but of course we don't have forever on this platform. So those are the a few things I believe that I've achieved, and I've done better. And not, again, of course, there's always room to for improvement, but I believe that. And then the areas that I said, you know what, I could do better, right? So that's the things I'm looking at. Then what am I looking at? Looking out for 2024. Looking out for 2024, right? What are my goals? Well, I would say that I'll continue to focus on ways to improve my practice. I would continue to also bring additional resources to this platform. Um, I've been at the beginning, I know that I had some resource persons that came on. I'm going to do that more of that too, so that in addition to bringing some resources on my own, I will also get someone in any field that will support the SMEs. I know that I had people that come on and actually ask questions. I'll continue to have an open door for those that want to appear. I know I've had people that just send questions or record their voices. But I know we'll see how we can expand on that area, because I know a lot of people like that. So I'm going to do that and make it more interactive, right? So those are some of the things. And then also I have some areas I'm focusing on, even to expand in some areas of my practice, for other businesses I'm also looking at. So what am I looking at in 2024? I'll definitely set goals. I've already talked about goals on this platform, and just not setting goals that are just out there, just out there goals. I remember I talked to, when I say out there goals, I mean goals that are so difficult to even achieve, right? So when I look at the word, remember we looked at the word, smart in one of my shows, and remember that we talked about the goals. So my goals will be specific, they'll be measurable, they'll be attainable, right? Realistic, right, and timely, smart. So those goals, and I hope that it will be like that for all of you. So I'm really looking forward to 2024. All right. So now let me say a word of advice to all those SME owners out there, right? I want to say something that's my own platform of achievement. And hopefully you would write down what you've achieved and what you're planning to do better. What are you focusing in 2024? But I want to say a couple of words to SMEs. I mean, all of these have been giving resources, and of course, educative resources and informative resources. And also on this platform, I just informed all of us on some of the challenges I've had and how I have been able to do better. Now, I want to always also talk to, I mean, anybody listening that is a small, medium enterprise owner. I just want to say kudos to everybody. I want you to say, pat yourself on the back for actually venturing out. It's so difficult for you to make that decision. Usually at the beginning, it's tough. So, but for you to say, you know what, I'm going to be an SME, even if you're starting with a side hustle. Usually, side hustles become main hustles. So, I want to say kudos to you for actually thinking of setting out. So, don't be too hard on yourself. At the beginning, it might not be easy, but you've actually, decided to step out. So I want to say kudos to you. So what else can you do for yourself, right? I would say I encourage you to continue to set goals. It's so important to set goals. It's very important to set goals for yourself. It's very important for you to set goals for your business, right? Yourself, because yourself, usually at the beginning, you are the one that sets the pace for that business, the path. So really set goals for yourself. I'll also say, the next point I'll say, please don't follow shortcuts, right? it's so easy for you to follow shortcuts, meaning that, you might say this is the fastest way to do something. My advice to you is that please do not do that. Do not follow shortcuts. Make sure that you are compliant. Now, there are some shortcuts that I'm not saying that you should not find out an easier way to do something. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you should not follow or do something that will put your business in or will jeopardize your business. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do anything that will jeopardize your business. So it's so important for you to make sure that you're compliant, right? Compliant. So I want to leave you with some of these pointers. You need to be compliant. Now, in addition to being compliant, right, you must do your best, right, to um, seek information. All right. Now, for example, compliance, you might not be in the field of maybe accounting, you might not be in the field of taxation, in the field of or legal, you might not be in that field. It's always important for you to seek those professionals. There are so many ways that you can have access to those professionals so that you will always remain compliant. Another thing I want to state is that please do not just listen to people's when it comes to compliance, people's opinion, because people's opinion might be wrong, right? Let me cite an example. When I say, well, it might be people's opinion or people's interpretation of the law. If they're not attorneys, please, I'm not saying that they're bad people, no, but you have the responsibility to make sure that you're not you're not taking a position out of ignorance, because we know that ignorance of the law is no excuse. I'm not an attorney, but I know that that's not an excuse. All right. So very important for you to really make sure that you are compliant. And if you don't know how to be compliant, maybe legally or as working with an accountant or any professional, I would advise you that you can go for people that render outsourced services. My firm renders outsourced services. What does that mean? You don't have to pay us as someone that is a staff, full-time staff, right? We have flat fees that you can pay that will actually clear things, clarify things and issues. All right. If you want to if there's any issue on accounting for my firm, right? I'm sure there are legal platforms that do that. So it's very important for you to seek um, um, information or work with professionals. In fact, I won't even say that when it comes to professionals, I won't just say seek information, because it's all about interpretation. You don't want to, I mean, somebody has even called me and saw something and the person saw something on the internet and was interpreting that statement incorrectly, right? And so you don't want to do that. So compliance is something you have to look at, right? Talked about goal setting, and I also talked about, appreciate what you've done, where you are, and what you've done so far. That's awesome. All right. Another thing I want to stress is that please do not get burnt out. You don't want to have a nervous breakdown because you want to build your business. You don't want to do that. Make sure you do not have a nervous breakdown. Make sure that you rest, take your time, take time. Of course, I'm not a medical personnel too, but I know that being burnt out does not help your business. So make sure that you are also taking care of yourself, right? Another thing I want to stress is leverage. Leverage, when I come to leverage, I'm not talking about leverage as leveraging in English, really. I'm talking about leverage in accounting, in finance. It's very important for you to understand how debt works. Please do not go and overburden yourself with debt. You don't want to do that. Make sure that you are you're really looking at alternatives. I know I spoke about this in one of my shows about leverage. It's very important for you not to take so much debt. All right. Very important. So you don't want to do that. All right. Now, you might say that you need debt to run your company because you don't have money coming in as needed. All right. Now, I'm not saying that that is bad, but just understand how much money you are taking, as debt. You don't want to be overwhelmed with debt. It can destroy the business. All right. You don't want to do that. Again, it's so important for you to work with professionals, right? It's very important. You know, another thing I want to stress here as you close the year, please make sure you appreciate your staff. A lot of people are so much into giving negative feedback, right? But you should, I'm not saying that you should not give your staff maybe a negative feedback if the person is not doing well, but there's a way you can go about it. Appreciate the staff, first of all. Appreciate the staff before you think of, okay, oh yes, you did this correctly, but there's room for improvement in this area. I mean, that's a great way to go. I talked about staff turnover that it's very expensive. Why is staff turnover very expensive? Staff turnover has the cost of even hiring is very expensive. You have to do a background check. You have to do interviews, right? That time could have been used to do something productive, right? Now, because you did not treat your staff well, which hopefully that won't be the case, your staff leaves the company. So these are some things. This is the end of the year. I mean, appreciate your staff and don't just wait until the end of the year, right? Continuously appreciate your staff. All right. So, excuse me. So, as you round up the year, I would also say that another word of advice is that look at what you set to achieve in 2023 and see if you have achieved that. And if you haven't, excuse me, what is the reason and how can you do better? All right. All right. So let me see if I know that let's see if I have a couple of questions. I can take one or two questions, but I just wanted to just say that to everybody that has been in business or that is still continuing in business, you have to really um, give yourself a pat on the back, right? You did a good. I mean, you've done a good job to be there up till now. So yes, all right. And of course, the pointers I've mentioned, right? Hopefully, and that will make an impact on your life, on your life. When I say on your life, I point it to be on the life of your business. Not, of course, your life is important, but the life of your business, right? And of course, please. um as I said, is for informative and educative purposes only. You might have specifics when it comes to some of the pointers some of the things I've spoken about. So you can actually refer to a professional if there are some pointers that you want to expand on, right? Or all of them, depending on your situation. Okay. Um, all right. So when it comes to looking at some of these questions. Let's see if I can pick up. Let's see the okay. I will not do so many today, but let's see what we can do to close out the year. So the question here is, okay, should I set my goals at the um, beginning of the year or quarterly? Okay. Um, I would say I mean, it just depends. There are people that set their goals for the year, but they break it down into quarters. What do I mean by that? Okay, I want to have, let's say, for example, I want to have um, a 50% increase in customer base by the end of the year. Okay, then you break it down and say, okay, I want to do 10%, or let's say 10% in Q1, 10% in Q2, right? We said 50%, right? So 15% in Q3 and 15% in Q4. That is goals that you set up, even though it's a yearly goal, you break that down quarterly. So what people usually do is they do yearly goals. They also have quarterly goals. So it just depends on what you really are looking at. Okay, what is it that you want? Yearly goal, but or quarterly goals. Most of the time, people set yearly goals and then they break it into quarters. All right, they said they do the quarterly goals, quarterly goals. All right. So I hope that works for you. But please set your goals, whether you want to do it quarterly or weekly or set goals. If there are no goals, how do you measure success, achievements? How do you do that? So it's very important for you to please set goals for yourself, for your company, and of course, for yourself too. But for your company, we're talking about companies. All right. Okay. Okay. Another question is my sibling wants to come in as a partner. Should I allow that to happen? Okay. Of course, I'm not going to say you're going to separate your family. Oh, no way. I'm not going to say that. So I'm not going to say yes or no, but okay, let me talk like I'm good advising you as a professional here or not emotional, no emotions. I kept that down. Well, I always say that there's nothing wrong with going into business with even anybody, even if it's your sibling or not. But I always say that um, make sure your sibling or anybody that wants to be a partner, or but it depends. Let me step back a little bit. If your sibling wants to be a partner that is just an inactive partner, just like maybe not run the business with you, that just wants to contribute money, that one is different. That decision making is all about you. Of course, there must be an agreement. Now, if your person is running the business with you, that's also different. So I will start by saying, number one, how do you want to, how does your sibling want to come in? Is it going to be a limited partner or a general partner is someone that actually takes works within the business. All right. So that's the very first question. Secondly, I would say very important. I know some states don't require a partnership agreement. Some states don't do that, but they don't require that on operating agreement. I strongly, I mean, even though it's not mandatory, but I would recommend that. It's not mandatory that you have to have an operating agreement, but I will stress and stress it again that you have an agreement between um, yourself and your sibling. Why is an agreement important? An operating agreement is how does the company want to operate? Who handles what? Right? I often hear people say, "Oh, but they should know. Oh, they should have known." No, 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 no. You have to. There must be set expectations, and those expectations must be met, right? So that there won't be issues, right? And that is part of the agreement. So it's so important that when it comes to anything about um, partnerships or any company where you bring in shareholders or anybody that you bring into your company, of course, there must be bylaws, there must be operating agreement, right? There must be an agreement when it comes to, depending on the structure of the company, it can be bylaws or an agreement so that everybody knows what they're supposed to do. Because I always say that people forget. People have so many things going on in their lives that they forget. Oh, I said this, they said this, you said this. No, but if you have it in writing, you're good to go. So the answer is there's nothing wrong with bringing in a partner, sibling, or anybody else, but make sure that everything is in writing, and not only writing, everything is signed. It's good. There's a signed agreement. All right. All right. So let's see. I believe we can take one more question. One more question. Okay. I'm a seasonal business. Should I have a fiscal year or an calendar year end? Okay, for those that don't understand fiscal year means that a company that does not that ends their business in any month during the year apart from December 31st, because December 31st is a calendar year. Well, unless you, I always tell people, unless you have a reason You can choose anyone you like. There's nothing wrong with being a fiscal year taxpayer or being a calendar year. Some people have their end of year in June. Some people have it, okay, June 31st. Some people have it September. That really doesn't matter which one you choose. But I always say that if you don't have to choose a fiscal year, just go with the calendar year because it's a bit straight, it's easier, straightforward. So, but again, it's not if somebody says choose one over the other, I'll choose a calendar year, but there's nothing wrong with choosing a fiscal year. Hope that makes sense. You can choose to end your year end in any month of the year. So it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one you choose. So it just depends on you. You can choose a calendar year. You can choose a fiscal year for your company, right? The reason why I believe that I personally feel that a calendar year end is better. I mean, it's not, well, I say, it's simpler because most of our records generally, taxes and, most of them, most of everything is most things, right, is usually based on calendar year. But I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with choosing a fiscal year end. All right. So hope that answers the question. All right. Okay. Let me see. We have about a few more minutes. Let's see if I can just throw in one more. One more. Okay. The last one is um I want to um provide bonuses or increase the salary of my staff. Which one should I do? Bonuses or increase salary for my staff? I can't afford to do both. Okay. All right. All right. I would say this is a matter of a cost benefit analysis. Okay. Oh, let's say cost benefit. No, let me look at the other way. The cost is the issue here because I'm not saying benefit. I will take the word benefit out here because I mean staff, of course, um, they want bonus, they want an increase in pay. But before I even jump into that question, hopefully the amount you're paying your staff is market rates. You're not underpaying your staff because if you're underpaying your staff, a good staff will leave because of that. So if you're not, fine, that's fine. Now you have to weigh everything. You say, okay, if I pay them a bonus, if I pay my staff a bonus, can my company afford it? Right? Or can I afford to give them an increase in pay? Right? So you have to decide on which one works for you financially. Now, if you can do both, you can do increase in pay, and you can also do um, um, bonuses, right? If a staff works hard and you can afford it, then do both. Yeah, if you can. But if you can't, please weigh and say, okay, if I increase this salary by how much in dollars or how much, even if you're located anywhere in the world, you know, look at what works, right? Look at the cost. You don't want to pay your staff, and at the end of the day, your company can't pay them. You can't meet up the promise of an increase in pay. All right. All right. So we're rounding up, have a few seconds left. Just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone and just wishing everybody a beautiful Christmas celebration and a wonderful new year. Again, this is my last episode for 2023, and I'm very, very happy that all of you have been with me up till now. So it's going to be a great year. I have so many great things planned for 2024, and I'm looking forward to it. I wish you success in your business. And again, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate your presence. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good one. Bye for now. And one more thing, of course, before I say final bye for the year 2023, of course, if you want to reach me or want to email me, please go to my website, the www, you see that, driniadesanya.com. And the doctor is Dr, no period. Dr. Ini Adesanya, my name. All right. So I look forward to hearing from all of you. Bye for now.